等压放好。
Hello, Maureen. Hi, Shivani.
Hello.
Hi, Myra.
Hello.
Good to see you. Hi, Satya. I love your screensaver. Hi, Shanti.
Thank you.
Okay. Actually, I will allow to record. Shivani, I've given you interpretation. Now I shall share the screen. Hello, everybody. Today we are talking about predictive techniques 3, talking about the balance dashas from Jupiter to Venus. And this is Lord Shiva and Parvati and me at a conference a few years ago. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Vakratunda Mahakaya Suryakoti Samaprabha Nirvignam Kuru Me Deva Sarvakareshu Sarvada. Om Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnu Guru Devo Maheshwara Guru Sakshat Param Brahman Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Om Brahma Murari Tripurantakari Bhanu Shashi Bhumi Suto Buddhascha Guruscha Shukraha Shanirahu Ketav Sarve Graha Shanti Bhavo. Om Dadhi Shankatusharabham Shirodharanavasambhavam Namami Shashinam Somam Shambho Mukataμπhushanam. So today we are doing the Saturn Purana mantra or Vedvyasa mantra. It's the same, just different names for it. Om Neelanjana Samabhasam Ravi Putram Yamagrajam Chayamaratanda Sambhutam Tam Namami Shanishcharam. So just to let you know about the courses, the next set of courses we have on from March 2024, and you would be looking at moving on to the next level, which is rules of interpretation. And all the information, the syllabus is on my website and you can look it up. And the advanced courses on planetary yogas. Sometimes people like to do more than one course, so you could consider doing this. And early bird for all courses is 21st October 2023, and details, everything's on my website. And the last thing is, could you please give me a testimonial about studying in the course with me? And my email, komela9@gmail.com. I put it on my website, but I don't use your name, just initial and the country you're in. So when you do the testimonial, you could put your initial as well as the country. And so here we are. And so the dashas continue. And so just to refresh you about it is that when you are doing the dasha, for each dasha, Lord decide if it is a positive or negative for the ascendant. Same for the bhukti lords. Review lesson 14-15 on the lagna. This is key to experience of the timing. If a planet is good for the lagna, dasha will be positive. Otherwise, there can be struggles and challenges. Another thing to consider is that it takes time for you to learn about the dashas and how to use them. So use what knowledge you have so far, and it will develop as you go along using these more and more. So what are the things you want to study? The quality of the dasha lord. Nature of the planet for the lagna, is it positive or negative? Strength of the planet, is it exalted, debilitated, enemy sign, friend sign, neutral? Each of the conditions, the planet behaves in a particular way. House rulerships, house position, 6, 8, 12 house positions are usually challenging. Conjunctions, Saturn, Rahu, Ketu, or Mars, you create issues. So let's say if your dasha lord has got a tight conjunction with Saturn or with Mars or Rahu or Ketu, then those planets are influencing the dasha. So that is what you want to look at. Then relationship between Mahadasha and Bhukti lords. Note the relative position of Dasha and Bhukti rulers. 6th, 8th position to each other is negative. So is 12th from the Dasha lord. 5, 9 are perfect. Planets in Kendra with each other will create some tension but are generally useful. So we start with Jupiter Mahadasha. Jupiter rules all good things in life. During its dasha, you'll find expansion and happiness. So Jupiter Mahadasha is 16 years long. If Jupiter is not a good planet, you may find yourself taking unnecessary risk which can create problems, and you do not always listen to good advice. But there's one thing about Jupiter is that Jupiter, usually you find it's not a lot has been achieved during Jupiter Dasha, as Jupiter's benefic and gives an easy life. He does not encourage struggle. That's the thing. Even if he's not a good planet for you, most of my clients will say, oh, this was a nice Dasha. Saturn will give much more kind of stress when he comes on. Jupiter's Karaka for children, husband, wealth, gurus, teaching. Jupiter Dasha will usually be the time you have children get married, especially for a woman. Karaka qualities of Jupiter, the houses it rules, the nakshatra rulership of Jupiter. See, a lot of things to consider. And as I said, it takes time that you start looking at all the things. Debilitated Jupiter will usually give health problems during its dasha. Jupiter debilitation shows a strong inclination towards financial gains, practical rather than spiritual life direction. here you can meet a husband who's not so spiritually inclined. I think the thing about debilitated planets is when a planet is debilitated, I always look at the health factor. And of course, then connect it with other things. What is the age? How is sun placed in the chart? Because sun gives the vitality to you. So you can't just think because a planet is debilitated, it will give you um, health problems. Also, it may have cancellation of debilitation too. If Dasha and Antar Bhukti Lord are generating any yoga, Moon Bhukti in Jupiter Dasha can activate the Gaja Kesari Yoga. If you have a Hamsa Mahapurusha Yoga, then that gets activated as well. Then in each of the dashas, certain bhuktis are tough. Jupiter Saturn, Jupiter Venus, and Jupiter Rahu, the last bhukti, these are challenging. I find always the last bhukti, we feel we should do extra. And especially Jupiter Rahu, we kind of can overdo things. So you have to be a bit careful because your eye is where you're going next. So this is the chart of Lionel Messi. He's a footballer, um, soccer player to those of you in USA. He's just signed a contract with Miami and he's playing here. So he's quite well known in USA now. And he's in Jupiter Dasha. And you see his Jupiter is in Aries. It is also Vargotama, means same sign in Rashi and Navamsha. And most important is it's a Kendra position. And other thing is this, Jupiter for Capricorn is not the best planet. It rules the 12th house and it rules the 3rd house. Now, 12th house ruler in the 4th can show that Jupiter Dasha can make him live abroad. And here what we can see is he's born in Argentina. He was first living in Spain. Now he's living in Miami, USA. So that is one of the aspects of Jupiter Dasha. So here we see right now, he's in Jupiter Moon Dasha. Started on 30th September 2022. And if we go back, we can see Moon is exalted in his chart. With Venus, 5th house is a lucky house. So this is when he got his contract. So he had a very big contract in Spain as well, but in USA, equally big contract. So that is indicated here. Moon rules the 7th house. So 7th house ruler, wife also good, exalted. If he was not married, then one could say this is a time for relationships as well, because Moon rules the 7th house. Now in the class, so the first person in with Jupiter Dasha is Levant. here we can see. So one of the most important things here we see in Levant's chart is he just started Jupiter Dasha, 27th of July 2023. So before the start of the Dasha, this year you were Rahu Mars, end of Rahu Dasha. So you can think about it that how did Rahu react to you? What did you experience? And Jupiter for Cancer Lagna is a good planet. It rules the ninth house of study and knowledge. It also rules the sixth house of opposition. So placed in the 12th house. So 12th house can be foreign travel. It can be spirituality. Most important to think is also expenses. And because your Jupiter's retrograde, you can see sometimes uh, uh, a retrograde planet takes time for it to experience this is, oh, sorry, excuse me. Thank you, Shivani. I was looking at Mars ascendant chart. So here's Leo. So Jupiter is a good planet for Leo as well. And it's in the 11th house of profit, and it rules the ninth house, aspecting Mercury and Sun. So this should be a really good dasha. And most importantly is that after Rahu dasha, it's very calming, very positive. But the retrograde means that sometimes there may be some delay in getting what you want or what you think you want. And here also 11th house, house of profit. So that is a positive energy. Then Myra. So now you see Myra's Cancer Lagna. Jupiter in the fourth house. Kendra Jupiter is always good. We see Jupiter in Libra, not the most happiest position, but it's in Kendra. There's a Gaja Kesari yoga between Jupiter and Moon. That is a positive aspect. Jupiter rules the ninth house, house of study, general good knowledge, but also the sixth house. So sixth house can bring some obstacles. Planets will behave both aspects. Now, right now, Myra, since 21st, 27th of April, you're in Jupiter Moon Dasha. So here we see Jupiter Moon is a Gaja Kesari Yoga. So the Gaja Kesari Yoga is being activated for you. And this is a positive for you. And Levanta said that I feel like everything is going smoothly this year. That is the thing. You see, after Rahu, when you come into Jupiter, it's much easier. And for Myra also, this is a good energy for her. Jupiter, Moon, Dasha. Moon is Lagna Lord, Jupiter's ninth Lord. So this is overall very good. Sometimes when you see the Dashas are good, you can think that I can plan some positive things for myself at this time. And I think I have, I don't know what I've written here. Is it snow? Let me see if it is snow. Yeah, snow is in Jupiter Dasha. And now you see here that snow also has Jupiter, Saturn together, exalted Saturn, Jupiter, distance of about 19 minutes. So quite a lot of differences here. But two things are going to happen, that you're going to get Jupiter Dasha first, then Saturn Dasha, both connected to the seventh house. For Aries Lagna, Jupiter rules the 9th house and 12th house. So 12th house could give you expenses, 9th house can give good luck. 12th house also foreign travel. Now, one important thing here is that you are in Jupiter Saturn Dasha. So that's like a theme for you because these are the two planets that are placed together. So Saturn is exalted, so it's not bad, but it's just that you may feel that sometimes with more restriction at this stage. Saturn rules your 10th house, 11th house, so good time to think about career and money. Now, in these Jupiter dashas, just to point out that Jupiter Moon dasha, Jupiter Moon is placed 8th house from Jupiter. So we studied the Sakata Yoga in the yogas class. So that is something that during that time you may find making some changes, you know. Nothing you can plan just now. They can be unexpected because this Moon Jupiter 6-8 from. But that's so far away, 2031, 32. So think about it at that time, that what is happening and how you are going to react to it. So the others are not here in the class with Jupiter. No, Yang is here. Okay, Yang. So here we see now another Jupiter Dasha, Jupiter Mercury. So the sub period is different. Jupiter is your ascendant ruler. So this is very important. Ascendant rulers in the 9th house, house of study. It's with Mars and Rahu. So remember, these dashas come one after the other. Mars, then Rahu, then Jupiter. You know, all of them are retrograde. So you are quite comfortable with the retrograde element in your chart. And they're all connected to study. And I feel that it is very important that you need to enhance your Jupiter because sometimes it's stuck between two planets. So that is something to consider and think about, that you can feel frustrated because you feel that you are not able to express yourself as you want to. Your sub-period is Mercury. Mercury rules your 10th house, career, 7th house, relationships. So those are the areas that can be of focus. It's placed in the 2nd house of money. So financial aspects as well, very close to Sun, which is your 9th house ruler. So this is also about study. So you have to see all the different factors that are there. Now we go to the next dasha, and after that I will ask if you guys have any question. So Saturn Mahadasha is 19 years, and we have Atma Jyoti, Bindu, Jennifer, and Sareen, I think, in Saturn Dasha. Saturn is regarded as the most difficult Dasha. Here, it is important to remember that Saturn can be your greatest friend if you understand its dictates. I've used the word dictates. He's very, do it like this, don't do it like this. He's not soft and gentle like Jupiter. So you have to understand, when you go from Jupiter to Saturn, the atmosphere has changed. It's not necessarily a bad atmosphere, but the energy has changed. Hard work, not shrinking from responsibilities, facing up to your difficult karma is some of the things Saturn deals with. If you're going through Saturn Dasha, it can be very positive if you discipline yourself. It can give you rewards which are long lasting and permanent, but only to those who work for them. So it is important to understand its energy and work with it. This morning, many of the students were in Saturn Dasha. And what they said was that once they accepted what Saturn is about, the Dasha became super positive and they could achieve it. But they spent a lot of time struggling against its rules. So that's the thing that you have to uh, watch for. Saturn Dasha during childhood can be difficult as its lessons can be tough to deal with. It can also rob you of your childhood if it is negative for you. Hard work, responsibility become the keywords. Sometimes clients tell me if they are Saturn Dasha as children, they felt very responsible. They felt older than their age because Saturn is an older planet and you get it at a young age, you start feeling older. Debilitated planets will usually give health problems. If it is debilitated, you will struggle with yourself. The dasha can be one where you find yourself acting contrary to Saturn restrictions, impulsive behavior, anger, frustration. And Saturn's anger, in any Saturn that you have, not just in Aries, he can be angry. And his anger is also resentful anger. You can resent working too hard. You can resent, pressures at work or whatever things, and especially against bosses or people higher up to you. So you have to be careful that you don't give it to it all the time. Saturn Venus Dasha brings change during its period. We don't know why, but there's something about Saturn Venus or Venus Saturn that it's a time of some change. I think because Venus is the guru of Saturn, Shukracharya. So Shukracharya teaches Saturn something, so we develop from it. So that is my reading on it. Some bhuktis are complex: Saturn Ketu, Saturn Sun, Saturn Mars, Saturn Rahu, and Saturn Jupiter, which is the last bhukti. And this is Prince William's chart. And what you see is that his Saturn is in the 10th house. So this is to do with career. It's also with Mars. And one of the issues he's having during his Saturn Dasha is his relationship with his brother, because they are fighting with each other. And Mars Saturn, they don't like each other. Their relationship is difficult. So you can see that. And here he started Saturn Dasha 2010, and he this time he got married immediately at start of Saturn Dasha. He lost his mother, Jupiter, Saturn. And if you look back here, Saturn and Mars aspect his 4th house, which is mother. So that Saturn, Jupiter, Saturn, from Jupiter, Saturn is in the 12th sign as well. So Jupiter, Saturn, when he got, then Saturn was challenging for his mother. And marriage, another factor, Saturn aspects the 7th house. So 7th house is where Saturn aspects, he's interested, but he can also create some problems. At present, we don't know of the problems, but we can see his children were born. And right now, this Saturn, Mars are together. And so this is when his relationship with his brother is very difficult. And he's feeling very frustrated and angry. And you can see that from the dasha. So we have Atma Jyoti. and Jennifer. So let's start with Atma Jyoti. So Atma Jyoti has started Saturn Dasha just not relatively recently, June 2016. Saturn is very good, strong in the chart. He's the ascendant ruler in his own sign in Aquarius. So that is a good aspect for Saturn. And generally, when you get Saturn Dasha and Saturn, that period is usually quite challenging because suddenly the rules have changed and Saturn is more, uh, you know, restrictive planet. But even though for Atma Jyoti is a good planet, it is, getting used to the dasha. And now when you come into Saturn, Mercury, then Mercury is much easier because it's not as demanding. And Mercury for Capricorn Lagna rules the ninth house. Atma Jyoti is studying just now. And this is lasting till 28th of February 2024. Then you go into Saturn Ketu. And Ketu is also connected to astrology. So even though Ketu is a difficult period, it's good if you're doing yoga, spiritual stuff, Jyotish, very good for all those things. Jennifer, been in Saturn Dasha for some time. Uh, it's 19 years long, so it's a long period when you get the dasha. Started in 2013. Now, you are also born with Saturn, Jupiter together. That means you had first Jupiter dasha, then Saturn. Both are retrograde. So you're used to retrograde energy. Saturn for you rules the seventh house, which is marriage, eighth house, which is transformation. It also rules your moon. But as I said, Saturn is always a little bit complicated because of its nature. So one has to accept what Saturn is giving message. Saturn aspects your ninth house, which is study, higher mind, also father. You are right now in Saturn Sun period. Sun is connected to money, finances. It can be good time for money. It's in the 11th house, and with the 11th house ruler. So this is a good period for you. Generally, for Cancer Lagna, Sun is good. Main issue, which we will discuss next week, Jennifer, is that your moon is in Aquarius and Saturn is transiting there. So I will discuss that, and when we come to the Saturn section next week, do remind me that I must look at your chart. And Serene. So Serene, you are now coming to the end of Saturn period, and you are, since 3rd of August, you are in Saturn Rahu. Now, Saturn Rahu definitely needs management. Your Saturn is in the 6th house. Generally, 6th house is regarded as a good position for Saturn. It is retrograde. It's the 7th house lord in the 6th house. So during the Saturn period, it is possible that there would have been some difficulty connected to relationships, especially when you started Saturn. So that is something to watch out for. And also, Serene, you are getting a too much Saturn influence because Saturn is in Aquarius. So again, next week when I talk about the transits, I will talk about your moon as well, same like in Jennifer's chart. So remind me at that time, and so you can, I will remember, but in case I forget. So, you know, you with Rahu is in the 8th house as well. So it's a good idea to, you can feel very anxious and desire for change. So you have to do things that calm you down and keep you calm and relaxed. That is very important for you at this stage. So anybody has any questions, anything they'd like to ask?
Hi, Camilla.
Yeah, I Satya.
Hi. So I have two questions I put in the chat. So when you're judging a dasha, do the houses being aspected by the dasha lord also be activated?
That's right. You saw in Prince William's chart, the Saturn was aspecting his 7th house. So
Mhm.
moment Saturn started, he got married, you know.
Mhm.
So it does, the aspects are quite important. Yes,
Okay, so with Saturn, so you would look at the 3rd, 7th, and 10th houses.
that's right. Yeah.
Okay. And also, my second question is, if a dasha lord is Rahu or Ketu, do you look at Aquarius for Rahu and Scorpio for Ketu to judge the quality, or do you look at the dispositor?
Both,
Okay.
like,
Sorry.
yeah, if it's Aquarius, what house Aquarius rules? So you would look at that, you know, suppose Aquarius 7th house, Rahu Dasha can bring marriage. Because it's a ruler, co-ruler of the 7th house.
So then, okay, so for Aquarius, you would look at
So you're not looking at the ruler of Aquarius, you're just looking at what area of the chart Aquarius is ruling. But you'd look at Rahu's ruler.
okay, so then for both Saturn dasha and for Rahu dasha, you would look at Aquarius.
That's right, because they're
Okay.
co-rulers.
Okay, thank you.
So if I just show you in Sarene's chart,
Mhm.
Rahu is in Aquarius, so Rahu would be ruling the 8th house. And for Aquarius, because Rahu is in Aquarius, you'd look at Saturn's position, because Saturn is the lord of the other ruler of Aquarius. In Rahu Dasha. Let me see, Jennifer's got something different. No. Atma Jyoti. So yeah, Rahu is in Gemini. So
Mhm.
you look at Mercury. And then you'd also look at during Rahu Dasha, Aquarius, which is the 2nd house,
Okay.
as an area of interest.
So you'd look at both the ninth house as well as the 2nd house.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Anybody else? Any questions? I love your background, Satya, all the leaves falling.
Thank you.
Hi, Camilla. I had a
Yes,
question.
yes.
This is Sabrina. You mentioned that if Saturn Dasha starts in a person's childhood, that it could rob them of their childhood and they would have a lot of responsibility. And so are there certain remedies that an adult who could see that in a child's chart could help with that? Or is that just sort of the karma they're coming into this
No,
lifetime?
I think they can help. I mean, my cousin, she had Saturn as a young child, and she said she felt responsible for her mother. All her mother was much older, but she felt all that during her childhood that she was looking after her mother rather than the other way around. And I think as a parent, if you see a child with Saturn Dasha, then maybe encourage them to, focus on the right way to do their exams and to take some responsibility, consciously, that they are encouraging. One other factor of Saturn can be also great laziness. So some activity is good for Saturn too.
Thank you.
And why Saturn is lazy is because Saturn is the slowest moving planet. So it takes time to think and decide what he's going to do. So now we go to Mercury Dasha, and we have a lot of you in Mercury Dasha here. So the most important thing with Mercury is to note which planet it conjuncts. Mercury takes on the energy of the planet it conjoins. Therefore, that planet can have a powerful influence in Mercury Dasha. And if Mercury is with many planets, it means you have multiple interests. So for example, I have Mercury with 3 planets, but the closest planet with Mercury is Ketu. So Mercury, I'm doing astrology, so that's a perfect influence for me. But if, so that is the closest conjunction. Other planets are a bit far away. So that interest in astrology, spirituality, all those things with conjunction is, that's what the interest of Mercury is. Mercury always travels close to the sun, therefore note whether it is combust. A combust Mercury can cause burnout, highlight the nervous energy. Also, combust Mercury is very fast moving. So sometimes you are going at such a breakneck speed, especially thinking and ideas, that you can burn out quickly. Then you want to check, is it the same sign as the sun? Mercury is a fast-moving planet. Effect of its dasha will be felt immediately as it begins. So as soon as you go into Mercury dasha after Saturn, the intellectual nature of Mercury indicates this dasha will be a time for reason, debate, expansion intellectually, but it can also make you overthink, just super analyzing all the time. Mercury is very changeable, therefore will naturally reflect during its dashas changing needs and ambitions of a person. Mercury dasha leads to greater freedom of expression as it comes after Saturn. Therefore, you feel freedom after 19 years of Saturnine restriction. You see, Mercury is not dictating. He's telling you to have fun, enjoy life. Saturn is regarded in the planetary cabinet as the worker, the bottom of the rung. So Saturn always has to work to get his results. You make the effort, Saturn gives you the results. Whereas Mercury is the heir apparent, just like Prince William is now. That means he's waiting to become king. So a lot of privileges, a lot of fun, easier dasha. Mercury comes after Saturn. Debilitated will give usually health problems. Mercury in debilitation will feel things rather than rationalize everything. It can also indicate swings of mood. Mercury can indicate swings of mood. This dasha can indicate problems with depression, lack of stability mentally. You have to see other things as well, not Mercury in debilitation, just Mercury itself. Now, Mercury is very good at business, but if you have a debilitated Mercury, you're not so good at money management, business. So you should be careful starting business. If dasha and antardasha generating any yoga, for example, Mercury Sun for Sagittarius Lagna, combine 9th and 10th Lord. So that is quite a nice aspect to consider. Some bhuktis are complex. Mercury Moon, Mercury Mars, Mercury Saturn, last bhukti. Now I have to tell you that I am at present in Mercury Saturn dasha. And suddenly, Saturn is much more dictatorial. And so there's also work is I have a good Saturn in my chart, but work is too much. So I'm always thinking I should take a break, but I don't get a break because it's Shani and I'm going on to Ketu Dasha next year. So this is Ben Affleck's chart, and he's an actor. And what you see here is that he's started Mercury Dasha, and Mercury is his Lagna Lord. And Lagna Lord is in the second house with Ketu and Sun. They're quite far away, so we could say they both are influencing him. During Mercury Dasha, he has made quite a lot of good films. I recently saw his film called Air, about Nike Air. And you see that Mercury rules Lagna, fourth house. And Mercury is in Ashlesha Nakshatra, so own Nakshatra. But I made this list of all the things. He met J-Lo at the start of Saturn Dasha and Jennifer Lopez, and that relationship broke up. During Saturn Dasha, he married Jennifer Garner and remained with her till the end of Saturn Dasha when he divorced her. And then 2019, he started Mercury Dasha. He had a relationship with one other lady, but immediately in this Dasha, he has been involved with Jennifer Lopez. That old relationship came back and they got married in Mercury Ketu Dasha. So Ketu is here is Ketu is in Pusha Nakshatra, Punavasu Nakshatra. And Jupiter is in Magha Nakshatra, Ashlesha Nakshatra. So Ketu being in Punavasu Nakshatra, Punavasu is ruled by Jupiter. So you see that Ketu brought the marriage for him. And Saturn sometimes gives like a marriage of, duty, because that's what Saturn is about, duty and responsibility. So here we see that Mercury is with Ketu. Mercury itself is not brought, but Ketu brought the marriage because Ketu is ruling the seventh house. Also, so sometimes, you have to look deeper. We are not as yet studying the Navamsha. Navamsha can also tell some extra pieces of information. So this class, we have a lot of you with Mercury Dasha, and let's just see. So we have Junji in Mercury Dasha. And we can see right now you're in Mercury Rahu Dasha. So Mercury is in the 10th house, which is good for career, jobs. For Scorpio Lagna, Mercury is not the best planet. So when you came to Mercury Dasha, but Mercury is benefic, it's on its own, independent, very independent. No, it's got no planet with it. But Mercury would give, feel a little bit unsettled because it's not the best planet for Scorpio. But now you've been so many years in it, you would have got used to Mercury. Mercury is in Magha Nakshatra. Ketu is its co-ruler. So Ketu can bring, Ketu is brings 12th house spiritual things. But so that is there as well. So right now you're from Mercury, Rahu, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9th house. So Rahu is 9th house from Mercury. So it can make you study foreign things, even though Rahu is in the 6th from the Lagna. But Rahu generally whenever we go through Rahu Dasha, we have to manage even sub-period that are dissatisfaction, that we should be doing more, it's not enough. That's very important in Rahu period to manage that. Then let me see, Lynn. So Lynn is in Mercury Sun Dasha. So Mercury being 17 years, it's a long Dasha. Mercury for Capricorn ascendant rules the ninth house. Ninth house is a good lucky house. It also rules the sixth house, which is a bit more difficult. Sometimes you'll get those energies. Right now, you're in Mercury Sun Dasha. Sun is in the 10th house. Rules your 10th house. This can be about your career. It's in the 10th house, rules the 8th house. So it may have brought some change professionally for you during this time. And Junjay says, I enjoy my work just now, so that is good. And Sun loves being in the 10th house, so this is a good position for it. And next one will be Mercury Moon. And in the Moon, you have to be careful you're not overthinking things, because Mercury and Moon, they are both planets of the mind. So you have to be aware of it. And Mercury is best planet for Capricorn, for Lagna Lord Saturn. So this is overall a good period for you. And you can also make quite a lot of money because Mercury is in the 11th house. Mohini. Mohini just started Mercury Dasha. So this is very important when you're looking at the dashas, the start of the dashas. So this started in 2021, but till January 2024, you are in Mercury. And Mercury is in the 10th house. Your Aries Lagna, so Mercury rules the 3rd house and the 6th house. For Aries, Mercury is not the best planet. Why is that? Because Mercury is analyzing, thinking. Aries wants to act, wants to do things. So it's good to adapt to that, to think, analyze more, and not think just that I have to impulsively act, because this is the adjustment to the new dasha. And Mercury is nicely placed in the 10th house. It is with Rahu. So some of the dashas you have to think when Mercury Rahu comes 2031, both in the 10th house, they can be very good time professionally for you at that time. But all of Mercury dasha, I feel, will motivate you professionally as well. So the others are not here. So one of the most fascinating things of the dasha is to study what is happening before. You see like Ben Affleck's chart. When did he meet? What are the important events of his life? I don't have his children's birth here. His films, very important, because then you can look at the history of yourself. And by looking at it, you also learn about your dashas, about how the dashas are working. Now, Ketu Mahadasha, Ketu refers from Rahu. We have Maureen, Natasha, and Zoe. I think Ketu differs from Rahu, as here you feel like giving up things rather than experiencing. You may feel like changing jobs, getting rid of your old style, even moving into retreat. Most people can experience very powerful life issues that you have no control over. Ketu Dasha will lead you to a spiritualizing process in a soul that is ready for it. You know, one of the most amazing things about Ketu Dasha is that it can give something really powerful, because Ketu deals with past life and how that past life expresses itself. That is important. But sometimes people get very stressed out in Ketu Dasha, and then they keep on seeking things, and they make themselves very troubled by it. So that's something that you have to be a little bit careful about. I was looking at a chart of a young guy, and he's in Ketu Dasha, and he's sort of, in this last 1 month, he has got done every prayer ceremony possible. He went to India and he did, I don't know how many, 10, 15 big prayer ceremonies, not recommended by me. And he's come back and he's still dissatisfied. And I explained to him, I said, you can't resolve your past life karma in 1 week or 2 weeks. You have to let it play out and relax. He's got a good job, he's successful, but that inside Ketu, you know, because it's headless, unless you follow the right path. And one of the best paths during Ketu Dasha is to study astrology, do something more spiritual, and not, you know, agitate yourself. Ketu can also give immense success. You need to be aware at the end of Ketu Dasha, it usually takes away what it gives in the beginning. The karmic access of Ketu Dasha, Rahu Antar Dasha, most people will experience it only once, therefore it can bring intense experiences. What is interesting about Ketu is that it does opposite to what you're doing before. One of my students, she was a housewife living at home, looking after a family in Mercury Dasha. Moment Ketu came, she gave out everything. She became a TV astrologer in her country, very famous, traveling everywhere. So Ketu brought total different aspect for her. So it's very interesting with Ketu Dasha, how it manifests itself. Ketu can cause great impediments in your path, set up roadblocks, traffic jams, boulders in the journey of your life. It causes pain. It wants to change your psyche. You learn to leave your excess baggage of past karma behind. You see, Ketu is about letting go, not obsessing about the past karma, but you can't let go in 1 or 2 days. It's like a process of things. You usually want different things for what you were doing in the previous Mahadasha. This I learned actually from my student's chart, because she was so transformed from Mercury to Ketu. And then you know, she's now moved into Venus. So then Venus brought something else for her. There has to be letting go of the past during Ketu Dasha. Effect of Ketu Dasha can be like going through ritual of fire, from which one comes out stronger, more powerful, to be able to take out on the problems thrown at us. There's a mystical quality of Ketu Dasha that needs to be understood to get the best out of it. So, you know, that's why I said with Ketu, one should do yoga, spirituality, you know, Jyotish, very good remedy for Ketu. Ketu Dasha will always be complex. No ascendant can experience it easily. 3, 6, 10, 11th house position of Ketu will bring positive results. 12th house Ketu can also bring thirst for moksha. So, you know, it's also, you know, to have some preparation, thinking if you are in Ketu Dasha, what you're doing. So debilitated Ketu, that means Ketu in Taurus, can give secret health problems. It is challenging and can bring guilt in Taurus. It makes you feel guilty about whatever, about something. Some Ketu bhuktis are complex: Ketu moon, Ketu sun, Ketu Mercury, which is the last bhukti. Ketu Rahu is a karmic time. It is one of the 2 times when the nodes are complete. Ketu Rahu may not be difficult, but it is, both Rahu Ketu are together. So there is some aspect that we don't have control over. And the last Mercury of Ketu, one has to be very careful that we are not giving up everything. There was one person who wanted, at the end of Ketu Dasha, she wanted to sell all her property and go into retreat and donate all her money to the spiritual organization she was belonging to. And I explained to her, she was also into astrology. I said, you can do all that, but wait for Venus to come, because Venus is your next dasha, and wait for Venus before making any major decision. And of course, Venus is about marriage, about love. And so when she came into Venus dasha, she decided to have children, to have a total different quality of life. So these end of dashas, one has to always be careful about. Now, I have the chart of Steve Jobs. And what you see here is Ketu is in his 11th house of profit. So very well placed Ketu for him. It's with Jupiter, so Ketu is under good influence. And Venus is aspecting Ketu as well. And in his case, you see, he founded, in Ketu Venus, he founded Apple. So Ketu is most powerful energy. Ketu is also very good at technical stuff. This is a part of Ketu that it can be very good. And in, what's his name? The chart of Microsoft, he also has, he founded Microsoft, Bill Gates, during Ketu Dasha. So you see this Ketu Dasha, founding of Apple, Ketu Venus, incorporation of Apple, Ketu Sun. So this was, they were just 20 years old. So it's like some old karma came, they have to do it. And this, now Venus, you'd say, oh, that's going to be easy. But moment Venus Dasha came, he got sacked from Apple. And then he got back to Apple in Venus Saturn. So here what you see is that Ketu can sometimes also make things out of control. And maybe Steve Jobs' ego was out of control in Ketu because he became so successful, so young. And he was doing all very alternative things that then public didn't like it. So let us look at Ketu Dasha here. And it'd be also nice if somebody wants to explain how they are experiencing the dashas. That would be good as well. So Maureen, you are in Ketu Saturn. So you're coming towards the end of Ketu Dasha, but you just started 20th of September, you just started Ketu Saturn. Now, Ketu Saturn usually doing opposite things. Ketu says give up, Saturn says face the music. Be realistic. So sometimes the Ketu Saturn, they tend to be going in different directions. Now, Ketu is in the 12th house. It's a moksha karaka. You're already studying astrology. So that is a good thing for you, spiritual things. But Saturn, and especially as it has just started, then you can be conscious about what Saturn is guiding you. Saturn rules your 5th house and 6th house as well. So it has a positive aspect, and 6th house can be a bit restrictive. It is retrograde as well. But generally, Saturn for Virgo is quite okay, because Virgo also, they are more analytical and cautious. So, mostly you'll see that. But this period that you are in, it's better to deal with the situation. And then you come to Ketu Mercury, which is the end of Ketu Dasha. And so, you're coming on to Venus. So it's a kind of important transition time, even though the main dasha is Ketu Mercury, but Ketu Saturn also needs to be managed. I think all of Ketu has to be managed, because that's the nature. Ketu is so interesting and unusual that we have to be conscious of. So I think the others are not here with the Ketu Dasha. And then after Venus, I will talk to you. So the last Dasha is Venus Mahadasha, and Sage is in Venus Mahadasha. So Venus rules fine things in life: beauty, music, dance, pleasures, jewelry, culture, finance. During its dasha, they can be leaning towards any of these things. Venus is considered a planet that desires materialism more. So Venus can give a lot of spiritual energy. Just give me one sec. Sorry, it's getting darker now. And I'm visible to the road, so I thought I'll close. So, but Venus likes good things in life. So you see the contrast from Ketu to Venus. Venus has Shukracharya also guru, so can give knowledge and transform. Venus is Karaka for marriage, relationships, seaman, wife, partner in a man's chart. In its dasha, marriage can happen. It strengthens existing relationships, will indicate a life where we are seeking money, relationships, romance. But we don't want ordinary anything in Venus. We want or small amounts of money. Venus desires the best, and its dasha seeks the best. The mythological story of Venus indicates that Venus could give you all your material needs, but does not promise happiness. So be aware that you may be creating your own unhappiness by wanting the impossible or not being happy with what you gain or achieve. So Venus is, you should not feel unhappy. You should think, yeah, what I'm getting, it's a good dasha, it's 20 years long. So that is positive. So it's about the mindset, really. Is Venus a good planet for your Lagna? It will not give good results for Sagittarius, Pisces. You see, the thing with Venus, same with Jupiter, is that they are benefics. They'll give you good time, but they may not guide you into the right direction. So Venus Dasha, if you're Sagittarius, Pisces, can guide you in a different direction. And the idea about the dashas is that we don't want to change what we are experiencing, but we can modify and adjust to the times that we are in, so that then our experience is the best. Venus in debilitation shows a time where you're going difficult period in your relationships. For men, this could be a trying time with your wife. Also, you may find yourself being overcritical about how you deal with others. You need to stop yourself from this. And Venus Bhuktis, Venus Saturn, Venus Jupiter, Venus Ketu, last Bhukti of Venus. I find that Venus Ketu can do a lot of damage to you as a last bhukti, because Venus Mahadarsha is 20 years long. And as you're ending Venus Ketu, you want to give up everything, you want something different. So it is really important that it's a 1 year period, that you are very careful of any choices you are making. That is a key factor. And here we see Steve Jobs again. And you see, after Ketu, he came to Venus Dasha. And in Venus, he got married. Venus doesn't rule his 7th house, but Venus is Karaka for marriage. Before he got married, he had a very serious girlfriend who refused to marry him. And also during Venus, he started Pixar. Pixar is this animated films and creative energy, And then he went back to Apple in Venus Saturn. And what was very interesting was that Apple is white in color. And then all the very artistic touches that Apple has, and the music, Apple Music, iPod, iPad, iPhone, everything this is all during the Venus Dasha. Although it was the Sun Dasha where the iPhone came out at Sun Venus Dasha. And he also got some award at Sun Ketu. But, this particular dasha for him, Venus, was both ups and downs for Steve Jobs. Now, in our class, we have one Venus dasha person, and Sage. So you are in Venus Rahu dasha just now. And Rahu is, firstly, Venus is about relationships. Venus is your ascendant ruler as well. So it's about yourself. And Rahu is in the 7th house. So this started in April. So Venus Rahu can bring relationship to you because Rahu is in the 7th house. What type of relationship? Somebody foreign from a different part of the country, or not born in China as you're born in China. Different ideas, because Rahu but he's solidly placed there in the 7th house. So during this time, it can bring the relationship energy. And Venus you also have Venus in Mars house, Mars in Venus's house. This is a yoga we will study next year, but it's very positive yoga for you. And it's bringing Venus back with Ketu. And you are seriously studying Jyotish because the Ketu influence is there. So Venus, overall, as it's your Lagna Lord also involved in this yoga, this can be a very good time for you. And I think the thing is this, that one has to be conscious of the expectation. Venus sometimes wants more. Whatever you have, it wants more. So any comment, question? Maureen, how are you going through Ketu?
Well, thank you for asking. It seems that things people from the past are just showing up. It's very interesting. I'm getting calls from people I haven't heard from for years.
That's
yeah, my ex-husband, a very nice man, and I don't know how many years, 9, he called. for advice about something.
Mm.
My daughter, who's been a little estranged or kind of out of touch, called. It seems for me that through P2,
Mm.
I'm sitting back, and rather than being so involved like I was in the Mercury Dasha,
Mm.
I just letting everything just come. Just what am I going to do? So it's
No,
going to come. It's going to come anyway, you know. I think I made such a good choice with Jyotisha and you. Thank you. But I noticed just oh, and the other thing I wanted to say, and then I'll stop, is I moved this summer during our class. I moved from Albuquerque for many reasons
Mm.
to Colorado. So now I'm up in the mountains with
Uh-huh.
deer and turkey and bear and
Oh, wow.
hawks. Oh, all the way up with the trees and very isolated. It's a good place to do the work. But
Mm.
even so, everything is still just coming to my doorstep. So
That is really interesting.
yeah, it is. So that you were saying about Kitu and wanting to move and go somewhere and be isolated, but
Mm. But I think
yeah,
you're doing the correct thing because you're letting things happen rather than sometimes people
yeah,
are going here, there, everywhere and not finding answers. And
yeah.
definitely, I think Jyotish is really good for Ketu. I started my Jyotish study in Jupiter Ketu. I started full-time astrology in Saturn Ketu. And then Mercury Ketu, I'm fully in astrology and now going on to Ketu Dasha. So I think that that's a very good thing that you're doing.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Anything they'd like to share?
Camila.
Yeah.
So I'm going through the Jupiter Dasha, and Jupiter rules my sixth and ninth house, and Mars and K2 are in my sixth house. So
Who am I talking to?
oh, and Myra.
Okay. Okay. Hi, Myra. Yes,
Hi.
I can see you. Yes.
And so I was curious as to like how the sixth house, planet Mars, and all that gets activated during this Jupiter period.
Well, Jupiter will get activated. Mars, when you come into Jupiter Mars Dasha,
I
uh,
see it.
yeah, which you're coming soon. But you are already dealing with sixth house things because you are in the medical field.
Yeah.
So therefore, that Jupiter Dasha is keeping you in that. And Mars actually is a very good planet for Cancer Lagna. So therefore, it's likes being in the sixth house as well. So I don't think that Jupiter Mars will be such a negative time for you.
Okay.
Because Mars likes sixth house. Mars is Raja Yoga Karaka for Cancer Lagna. And from Jupiter, it's in the third sign. So all the things are quite good.
Thank you.
So next week, when we are going to talk transits, then those are the things that is more because you have got Saturn transiting your eighth house, and number of people I said today also, either Aquarius or so that is what we are going to look at. So just the last bit of the class. I'm trying to finish my book on the dashas. So hopefully this week I'm in immersive. I've been doing the dashas from today onwards. I'm doing for 1 week immersion. So anyway, so points of view, study all the dashas from the following point of view. Moon is the key, gives added information, and Dasha Lord as well. You want to see what's happening from the Dasha Lord as well. So this is Prince Harry. And this is his natural chart. So the idea is that the whole dasha system is constructed out of moon's nakshatra. So moon's point of view is always very important. And he's in Rahu dasha. Rahu is exalted in his chart, 6th house. So that's a good position for Rahu. But Rahu's lord, Venus, is debilitated. And therefore, that could be debilitated. Venus is very supercritical. So he may be feeling dissatisfied and supercritical, dissatisfied from Rahu and supercritical from Rahu's ruler Venus. And now the next step you would look at is his moon point of view. Now, for Prince Harry, you see, moon is isolated, no planet either side. Rahu is not considered. So that is something that is just part of his nature, nothing to do with this present dasha. If he has problems, he can isolate himself. But from the moon, Rahu is in the 2nd house. So 2nd house position is always good. So that's mostly what we are looking at from the moon's point of view, where Rahu is placed. And then the last point of view is the Dasha Lord himself. So what we see is that Prince Harry in the Rahu Dasha, from Rahu's point of view, Venus is in the 5th house. Even though it's debilitated, he has 2 children during Rahu Dasha. So those 2 aspects are there. But sometimes a debilitated planet gives loss of status. So Rahu's lord being debilitated, he went from being the prince in UK to being just somebody, maybe a little bit well known, but not as much status as he had in UK, in USA. So that could be one of the aspects that is there. But what do you see here is that from Rahu, Saturn is in the 6th house, Jupiter is in the 8th house, and Moon is in the 12th house. So these sub-periods may be complicated for him. Secondly, Mars, strong Mars in the 7th house. So Rahu could have a dominating wife. Ketu is also exalted, both Mars, Ketu in the 7th house. But Mars can also bring issues in marriage, because Mars in the 7th house also is Kuja dosha. It can bring argument and disputes and all that. So keeping that in mind, then you see the dashas here. Right now he's in Rahu Moon dasha. So Moon is isolated, so he can feel extremely isolated at just now. One of the most difficult dashas to experience is Rahu Moon. And he has also Moon 12th house from Rahu. From Moon, Rahu was okay, but from Rahu, Moon is in the 12th house. And 12th house is house of loss. Rahu is 2nd from the Moon, 6th from the Lagna. During this time last year, he lost his grandmother. He lost the grandmother actually in Rahu Sun, but 11th September, he started Rahu Moon. So the isolation he feels after the loss of his grandmother, that is there. And then 12th of March 2024, so next year he goes into Rahu Mars. And this is a major change for him, something that one has to watch out for, because it's a change or transformation taking place for him. So next week we are going to concentrate on transits, but I just wanted to show this to you. So I have Myra's chart here. And so you see there's number of steps that you can look at for the dasha. So Jupiter 10th from the moon. That means Saturn is also 10th from the moon. That means professional life is important. But once you come into Saturn, it will get even more important because it's 10th from the moon. So that is the first perspective. Then the second perspective is from Jupiter. And what you see is that Jupiter, Saturn are together. So 2 dashas, 16 years of Jupiter, 19 of Saturn, all with Libra. And from Jupiter, Venus, second house. That's good. Always a planet in the second house is giving you positive vibes. And Saturn is also there. And no planet is in Gandanta, 6th house, 8th house, 12th house. So that is another positive aspect for it. However, from Jupiter Dasha itself, Jupiter rules the 6th house, and Myra is working in a medical field, 6th house, health, healing. So that is quite appropriate. And let's just look at Maureen's chart. And Maureen, sorry, I need to change it. So from the moon, Ketu is in the 11th house. So well placed from the moon, Ketu. 11th house also house of profit. That's not what Ketu wants, but even if you want or not, Ketu can give it to you. Then we look at Ketu's point of view here, and Ketu's Lord Sun is in the 8th house of transformation, change, even research. And it's start of Ketu Dasha. You have to look back because that's when Ketu is on. Then the start of the Dasha can bring some change. And Ketu Sun, Ketu Mercury, and Ketu Jupiter, all 8th from Ketu. So 8th house, you can see how other aspects there. Interestingly for you that Venus is in the 7th house from Ketu. So you said your ex-husband came back because Venus is so strong in the 7th house from Ketu. And I'm just going to look at one more chart. Sage. So Sage is in Venus Dasha. So we want to see Venus from the moon's point of view. So you see from the moon's point of view, Venus is in the 9th house of higher knowledge, study, Mercury and Saturn. Sun is in the 10th house. Rahu is in the 2nd from the moon. So you are in Venus, Rahu Dasha. Then if we look at from Venus's point of view, so here we see Venus is with Mercury and Saturn. They all become very prominent. And the Lord of Scorpio is Mars and Ketu. So they are in the 12th house. 12th house can be, it's house of moksha, but it's also house of traveling. It's also house of expenses. So you have to think which of those things came true for you. And, so Venus Ketu, Venus Mars, and Venus Rahu. These are the planets that are in Dushtana houses from the Dasha Lord. So those are the ones that you need to watch out for. You've already run Venus Mars. So look for that. And then Venus Ketu will come right at the end, 2034, still many years to go. But do be conscious at that time. So that is it for today. Any questions? Myra, you have your hand up. Yes.
Hi. So, since I've had the most difficulty staying disciplined in my personal life. It's so easy for me to work really hard at work, but trying to stay disciplined with a good routine, like a sadhana and stuff like that, I felt like I can't really get a good grip on that part.
You see, Myra, the thing is this, where are you? Here you are. Jupiter is not very disciplined.
Oh,
It's not the best. So you have to develop, because he lets you have an easy time. So at work, obviously, work is more disciplined as nature is there.
okay.
So when you are in Jupiter Dasha, then Jupiter is not encouraging you to organize yourself. And I remember when I was in Jupiter Dasha, was totally not disciplined. And then came Sunny and everything organized. But it
Oh,
took
but-
a few years, you know, but you have exalted Saturn, so you can aim for it.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
And Jupiter is also in its own nakshatra, so the nakshatra is also not helping.
And it's also my Atma Karaka
Mm.
too. So I don't, but it's great perspective. Thank you.
Because the thing about Jupiter is it lets you do whatever you want to do. And so whereas Saturn says, no, these are my rules, you have to follow them. And so there's a different energy. Each of these dashas, they bring something different to you. Okay, good. I have to go now. Thank you. See you all next week. Namaste. Bye-bye.